today I was thinking, I just went for a walk. I'm like, I'm not going to upload a video this morning. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go touch some grass. Went and got an ice cream cone. Tried to have a little bit of a life outside of sitting in front of the computer, because sitting in front of the computer for 10 hours every single day pretty much will make you hate almost anything. Feels like, so I'm like, let me get my head out of my ass for a moment and just think. And I kind of came back from that walk thinking that a couple main thoughts that I wanted to share with people that watch the channel today. First and foremost, the community for Diablo Immortal has been outstanding. It has actually probably been, and I have covered over a dozen mobile games on like 3 or 4 different YouTube channels at this point. And Diablo Immortal has probably been the best I have ever been treated by the community. I very rarely run into anybody that harasses me or does anything weird or whatever. And when I do, it's mostly associated with a clan drama or something stupid that most of the time I'm not even part of anyway. But for the most part, everybody is always nice. I mean, just always nice. Okay. And I mentioned this before, but like legitimately, I've also met people in two times this week. I've met somebody in person that was just super friendly to me. I mean, over the top, great guys, shout out to Reese, I guess was the one I watched or met yesterday. If he happens to see this, but just everyone is just like solid of the earth people. Honestly, I put out a video yesterday about like almost crashing my motorbike, because I did actually drop in the middle of the road and almost got hurt pretty bad. And like the community response from people just watching me talk about my literal day has been overwhelmingly positive in terms of community support, etc. I know I've done a couple videos where I go and talk about like mental health and stuff like that. People are always overwhelmingly supportive then. And people have been overwhelmingly supportive about all of my Immortal content. On top of that, like not just the community being good to me aside, looking at the game itself, Immortal has consistently been getting better. There's a lot of bugs. Admittedly, there's a lot of bugs. So we're having a lot of crashes, invisibility. A lot of these bugs are still in the game from the beginning. Invisible laser comes to mind, being in the game still in this day and age. But for the most part, the game is continually getting better. We've been getting added into the game what we've asked for, things like set crafting. Actually, here's a little bit of a tidbit for you. This isn't confirmed. I had a guy that's the second shooter from the grassy the data miner, started mentioning that he was finding information about the potential for that 10v10 Accursed Towers PvP to have a new PvP mode that's the same thing, but like Fractured Planes, like I've been begging for, where effectively there's no resonance or outside influence. Like you go into the game and the items and gems and all that are selected for you and everyone's on a level playing field. I don't know if that's true. If that is true, that's literally phenomenal. I guess what I'm saying is I have been pleasantly surprised over the last year at how good Immortal actually has been. Like legitimately, it's been not only going well on YouTube, going well from community response and you guys supporting me. It's been going very well. I feel like in the development side of it too. I think there's arguable that, class balance has gone up and down, and there's definitely things for me to bitch and moan about. I've complained many times about pay to win. I've complained many times about things like legend or skins, not being cross class. I do my fair share of moaning like anybody else, that plays the game. But when I actually look at it and compare it to basically all the other mobile games I've played, it's pretty hard pressed for me to say that it's been factually worse in terms of updates and support and listening to the feedback. Like the amount of feedback they've actually listened to is shocking. And I can see that firsthand. So this isn't even really like me shilling for the game at this point. Like I've already gotten everything Blizzard could ever give me. They plugged me in the BattleNet. They hosted me after their YouTube stream. I've already got all the perks that come with shilling, boys. Okay, that shit has sold. And let me tell you, the most I got out of that was $140 in Twitch subs on the one time I got plugged, and I think it was 26 new YouTube subscribers from the host. So it ain't much anything. I got a skateboard in the background. All right, that's about as good as it gets. It don't pay the bills, and it surely don't matter in terms of growth the way I thought it was going to. So I can't even say that like I'm out here, kind of praising the game and all that out of hoping Blizzard sees it and says, "Oh, thank you, DM." Like it legitimately, there's nothing left. You know what I mean? I tapped the bottom of that barrel. So it's surprising to me that I still wake up and think, I cannot believe it's been a year that I'm covering Immortal, and things feel like they're going good. Like YouTube feels like it's going good. Yeah, the views peaked and then they dropped down after the game came out. Yeah, it's like a third of what it was and all that. But like, I've been on game launches before. I know how it goes, and the amount of I mean, I'll keep saying it, but the amount of community support that I've received over the last year covering this game has been crazy. The amount of love has been crazy. And then if the game was just absolute dog, maybe I would have been done already. But the thing is, they keep making the game with new shit. There's new news to cover. There's always some data mine to do. There's a new build to do. They're still pumping out stuff a year later. And all the pay-to-win garbage that happened in the beginning is definitely still in the game. But like, basically the pay-to-win ruined what would have been like a phenomenal fucking mobile game. I mean, the mobile game is actually just really good. So I know there's people that like, I think it was Asman in the beginning was saying like he would debate, even if you take pay-to-win out, he would debate it's a bad mobile game. I just think that's an L take. Like, I legitimately think that if you play Diablo Immortal, it is hard-pressed to find a better ARPG. There's Undecember and Torchlight are the only competitions that are somewhat on the same level, but it's pretty hard to find a mobile ARPG that is at the quality level we're seeing in terms of production, etc. So I don't know. I've been kind of like having a come to Jesus moment where I kind of look at the game and I'm like, dude, things are going pretty well for me. Like it just is. I mean, the game's going pretty well for me. I actually kind of like the state of the game. I know DH is saying everyone's whining about DH now, but we were just whining about Monk a month ago. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be something OP, etc. And I'm looking at these other mobile games. Like, I started playing like Honkai Star Rail, etc. And it's just like, I'm like, holy shit, I'm bored already. So I don't even think it's this game that's boring me. Like, I was playing Diablo 4. I didn't even play much of the server slam. Then I decided to go on a motorcycle ride, took a break. I didn't even get the mount trophy because I slept through it. You know, I just didn't give a fuck. And so I'm realizing that's a lot of that is just me as I'm getting older, like caring less about video games and more about YouTube and covering news and talking to the people. And so I like that shit. I like that shit a lot. But like, you know, the mobile games are like, I see them for what they are these days. They're a decent game. You know, it's a decent game you can play on the bit. But I also, because of that, like all of the like anger and bias and like me getting so emotional like about these games from being in them for so long, like a lot of that stuff has like sailed, and I can just kind of objectively enjoy whatever's going on in whatever game I'm playing. I like Star Rail when I played it for the first couple weeks and got bored pretty fast. I'm probably not going to continue to play it very much longer. And Diablo Immortal is still right now surprisingly entertaining. I don't like grinding every day. I'm not going to run in a circle 10 hours a day. I'm absolutely not. But there's definitely still news to cover. And YouTube's definitely still going good. And there's definitely still a community that wants that stuff and is responding well to it. So I don't know. I've been debating putting Diablo 4 on my main channel, the Darth Microtransactions channel lately, because I don't know. It doesn't feel like a dead fucking game. Diablo Immortal does not feel like a dead game to me right now. And every time I talk to people about Immortal, like, hey, are you going to play D4? They're like, well, I play Immortal because on my phone. Like, I play it at work, etc. And it's like, yeah, they're kind of not competing against each other. I actually feel like D4 might actually make Immortal bigger because you're going to have a lot of people that are new to the Diablo 4 franchise because it's targeted for casuals and people are going to enjoy it a lot. And then they're going to be like, oh, but I can't sit in front of the computer 10 hours a day or on the console or whatever. Let me check out the mobile game. And then they might go have some fun slaying some demons in the mobile game. And yeah, it's all about combat rating. You got to grind the combat rating. If you got the combat rating, you beat the PvE. And it's not challenging or any of that. But sometimes people just want to grind. Sometimes that's legitimate. People just want to spend time in the game where they can play with their friends, have a clan, do some grinding, get to where they can on the leaderboard, then log off a half hour later. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not the same thing. And I feel like that's what I realized playing Diablo 4. Like, these are completely different worlds apart. And I don't think Immortal is actually going to die to D4 as much as I thought it was going to after not only playing D4, but then sitting down thinking about it. I legitimately think Immortal is going to be around for a minute. It might be a hot take. It could be a terrible take. I don't know. I'm just trying to be honest. Like, it seems like Immortal is actually not that bad of a game. And I'm kind of coming to that realization. There's a lot of grinding and shit too, but fuck, I'm going to be grinding any game I play. And I guess I'm feeling a little bit positive lately. And really what I want to know is what you guys feel about it, because it's not just like YouTube comment bait like normal, but it's like legitimately, I'm kind of curious. Is this a horrible take? I mean, this could be a fat L of a take. I don't know. But like, the game, Immortal feels like it's better now than it was a year ago. And most of the stuff they added in the game was shit that we literally asked them to add in the game. And that's pretty rare from the mobile games I've played. I mean, I played Raid for years, Raid Shadow Legends for years, and Lord knows the amount of whining I can do in that game goes way larger than anyone in this game. But anyway, it's a little bit of a ramble today, but I've been thinking about the future of my channel, and I'm debating just fucking riding Immortal into the grave with you guys. You know what I mean? Let's just cover it for the people that want to cover it, and then still cover D4, but just put it on a different channel. So if you're watching Immortal and you're not interested in D4, maybe you can just watch the other channel. So that's where I need your feedback. Like, are you going to play D4? Do you still want coverage on Immortal? If I cover D4, would you want a second channel or mixing it as the two? Fine. And how are you actually feeling about both the balance of the game, the enjoyability of the game, as well as the content I'm creating on the channel? Because where I'm sitting and where I'm looking, like, yeah, the numbers are a third of what they were on launch and all that. And, you know, I've seen the data, both in like my YouTube stuff's way down from where it was at peak, because we were getting like 2 million views or something on launch. Now it's like 700K or something a month, because, you know, you go up and you drop down from the peak. But legitimately, like, I know that I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. I'm actually feeling like decently satisfied in terms of the game's performance, in terms of YouTube performance. And I definitely have felt overwhelmingly loved and supported by my community that is playing the game. So that's all I got. I'm kind of curious how you guys feel about that. Is it a fat L stupid take? Zero IQ DM, maybe. But I also, maybe it's just the almost running in the back of the truck yesterday and getting outside, walking in the air and touching some grass. But I came back with a lot more appreciation, and not just for the game, but like where I'm at and, you know, in producing content and all that. Anytime I kind of get my head out of my ass for a moment, I kind of come back like a lot more thankful. So anyway, that's just where I'm at, and I wanted to share.